In the world of aviation, there are fast jets, there are powerful jets, and then there is a machine so ambitious, so impossible, that even today the world looks at it and wonders, how did humans ever build this? A jet that didn't just touch the edge of speed, it destroyed the limits. A jet that didn't just break the sound barrier, it lived beyond it. This is the story of a legendary beast, the North American XB-70 Valkyrie. And today, on Wings of War, we dive into the life of the aircraft many call the most extraordinary supersonic bomber ever created. A machine so advanced that even modern jets struggle to match its power. Let's begin. The XB-70 wasn't just an aircraft. It was a dream, an experiment to create the fastest and highest flying strategic bomber the world had ever seen. Designed during the Cold War, the Valkyrie was intended to fly at Mach 3, 3 times the speed of sound, at altitudes above 70,000 feet, where the sky turns dark and the world below looks small. Imagine a bomber moving so fast that no interceptor could catch it, no missile could reach it, and no enemy defense could react in time. That was the vision behind the Valkyrie, a bomber so fast it could outrun nuclear war itself. When engineers first began sketching the XB-70, the world thought it was impossible. Mach 3 wasn't a target, it was a fantasy. No bomber had ever approached such speed. No material could survive the heat. No engine could push such weight through the air. But North American aviation didn't care about limits. They wanted to build a weapon that made every other aircraft look small. And so the Valkyrie began to take shape. An airframe longer than a small airliner, wings that folded down at high speed, 6 massive turbojet engines, and a structure made from stainless steel and titanium to withstand the temperatures of near space. The moment you see the XB-70, you understand why it became a legend. It looks less like a bomber and more like a futuristic spacecraft. The needle-sharp nose, the delta wings, the twin vertical stabilizers rising like horns, the long elegant fuselage, all of it screams speed. Even sitting still, the Valkyrie looks like it wants to break free. And once it took off, nothing in the world could match its presence. At Mach 3, the aircraft created shockwaves so powerful that the air literally changed shape around its wings. Pilots described it as flying inside a river of compressed air. The jet didn't just cut through the sky, it bullied its way forward with raw force. But what made the Valkyrie truly revolutionary was a phenomenon called compression lift. At high speeds, the shockwaves under the wings created extra lift, allowing the aircraft to ride on a cushion of air, like a surfer riding a perfect wave at 3 times the speed of sound. This was a breakthrough no bomber had ever used before. By lowering its outer wings downward, the Valkyrie trapped shockwaves underneath, giving it more lift, more efficiency, and more stability at Mach 3. This design was decades ahead of its time, a glimpse into an aeronautical future that never fully arrived. Inside the cockpit, the aircraft was just as impressive. 2 pilots sat side by side in a pressure-sealed capsule designed to protect them from the extreme altitudes. At 70,000 feet, the sky is almost black. The curvature of the Earth becomes visible. The horizon looks distant, almost unreal. Pilots said flying the Valkyrie felt like stepping into space, a moment where the line between aviation and science fiction blurred. The controls were sharp and precise, but the aircraft demanded respect. Mach 3 is not a place for mistakes. Every movement, every adjustment, every decision mattered. The Valkyrie was not only fast, it was enormous. It was longer than a Boeing 737, yet capable of outrunning even the fastest fighters of its era. The 6 turbojet engines produced over 175,000 pounds of thrust combined. When the aircraft accelerated, the entire frame shimmered with heat. The leading edges of the wings reached temperatures that could melt traditional metals. And yet, thanks to advanced engineering, the Valkyrie held together like a masterpiece. But despite all the brilliance, the world was changing. Radar technology improved, surface-to-air missiles evolved, and US military strategy shifted away from high-speed bombers and toward ballistic missiles and stealth aircraft. By the time the XB-70 was ready, the mission it was designed for was already fading. The Valkyrie was simply too visible on radar to survive future air defense systems. Its speed no longer guaranteed safety. And so the aircraft that could fly higher and faster than anything on Earth suddenly became a machine without a mission. Yet even with its strategic role disappearing, the Valkyrie refused to be forgotten. Instead, it was reborn as a research platform, an aircraft used to study aerodynamics, supersonic flight, and high-temperature materials. The data gathered from the XB-70 directly shaped the future of aviation. Many technologies used later in the B-1 Lancer and even the State Route 71 owe something to the Valkyrie. Even today, engineers still study its design for inspiration. The aircraft was so far ahead of its time that it continues to teach lessons decades after its first flight. But the story of the XB-70 is not complete without the tragedy that became part of its legend. During a formation flight in 1966, a smaller fighter jet lost control and collided with the Valkyrie, causing it to break apart in midair. Only one XB-70 survived after that. The loss shocked the aviation world. A machine built to fly at Mach 3, to cross continents, to survive near space temperatures, brought down in a moment of chaos. That day became etched into history, adding both sorrow and mystique to the Valkyrie's journey. Today, the only remaining XB-70 sits in the National Museum of the U.S. Air Force in Dayton, Ohio. Visitors stand beneath its massive wings, silent and small, staring at a machine that represents the absolute edge of human ambition. No photograph can capture its presence. No replica can recreate its energy. The Valkyrie radiates power even as a museum piece. Its body reflects light like a blade. Its wings look ready to slice through the sky once more. And the thought that this aircraft once flew at Mach 3 leaves everyone speechless. People often ask, why do we still talk about the XB-70? Why does an aircraft that never entered service remain a legend? The answer is simple: the Valkyrie symbolizes what happens when humans refuse to accept limits. It represents a moment in history where engineers didn't ask, what is possible? They asked, what is impossible, and how do we do it? The Valkyrie was not built for war. It was built for ambition. It was built for the challenge of creating something no one else could imagine. It was built to show the world that the sky is not the limit, speed is not the limit, dreams are not the limit. As we look back today, the XB-70 remains one of the most beautiful machines ever created. Its lines are perfect. Its proportions are elegant. Its silhouette is unforgettable. It looks like a creature born to fly fast, to fly high, to conquer the air with style and dominance. And maybe that is why aviation lovers across generations call it the real king of the sky. Not because it fought battles, but because it defined what a king should be: untouchable, unmatched, unforgettable. On Wings of War, we celebrate many aircraft. Some are deadly, some are historic, some are iconic. But the Valkyrie, this one is mythical. A legend that lived too fast, too high, too beautifully. A masterpiece that the world wasn't ready for, and may never see again. And as the sun reflects off its polished white skin inside that museum hangar, you can almost hear the whisper of a machine that once ruled the sky at Mach 3. This is the North American XB-70 Valkyrie. Not just a king of the sky, but a reminder that aviation is, at its heart, a story of human courage reaching for the impossible.